Yes, yes, yes. It is that time, beautiful souls, wherever you are on this phenomenal planet. It is Shift Your Thinking Tuesdays with yours truly, Lisa P, Super Agent. And I am so happy that you are taking 13 minutes of your time to transform your inner experience to a phenomenal outer experience. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me. I'm really feeling that right there. You know, if you haven't had a chance to share, invite someone, tag someone, and let them know, let's get it pumped. Every Tuesday, we do this every week. And we are now on episode number 33 of our Shift Your Thinking series. Like, where are you with it? Have you caught up in the archives? You can check our archives out at LA Super Agent on YouTube. Also, the radio podcast on iTunes and Google and Anchor FM. So yes, thank you for joining. I'm stoked. I just wanted to make sure I just hit this on my timeline real quick. That way people get to wake up. I'm pumped. I probably had a good rest. I've had some great things happen in terms of the mind, the creativity, good flow, just, knocking things out. How do you eat an elephant? It's an African proverb. How do you eat an elephant? Because especially me, I've got tons of stuff happening on my plate, as I trust you do too, which is why we do this every week, right? To just kind of get the mind in some type of balance. So this episode I'm calling, let's see, what shall I call this episode? I'm calling, so we are on episode number 33. And let's see. You think people care. This is going to be a rough one. Oh, we're going to hit home. We're going to hit home on this one. I'm going to call this episode, You Think People Care. All right. Episode, boom, 33. Drop that there. Cool. So we're continuing our series from Shift Your Thinking. I renamed the whole book, my Shift Your Thinking Tuesdays. We continue our episode with Dean Del Sesto's book, Shift Your Thinking, 200 Ways to Improve Your Life. And we are on episode number 33. So thank you for joining me. And if you're following on, if you've already won a copy, you bought a copy, that's awesome. I'm in this section called Standing Out Isn't Always Outstanding. Uh-oh. The author says there's an old adage that indicates no matter how much we try to impress people, listen to this, our impressions don't matter that much in the long run. I've seen some memes about this, so I'm going to come back to that. I'll stick a post-it in it, and I'll come back to that. Because the author says, especially if they are a front or manipulation to get something we want in the moment. So what just came to mind was this meme that's going on around, and I know Will Smith, I'm going to quote Will Smith. He said something about spending money. You're spending money to buy things to impress people that don't even care about you. So that's where we're going with this. Thanks for joining. This episode is called You Think People Care. The author says time will weed that out. It also implies that no matter how important we think we are to other people, we really aren't that important. Callous sounding, yes. Callous for those of you just feeling harsh sounding, yes. But if we had $1 for every time we thought someone was thinking bad or good about us and they weren't, we gain a few $1,000 a year. I'm going to build right there, especially because especially when I see people share posts on their timeline saying, if the shoe fits, wear it. If you think this applies to you, then, it's just, I've seen some people make those comments because you're kind of, timeline. Social media is like a journal. It's your digital imprint of your mind, oftentimes your subconscious mind, right? So what you're going through, you take to social media. You want everybody to know you feel some kind of way, you think some kind of way, you're acting some kind of way. But guess what? When you check those algorithms, no one actually really cares. No one really cares. You're volunteering so much information that you think people care, but they really don't. This is a long run. In the long run, when you go back, see, and I operate from intention all the time. For those of you who are connected with me, I just share this because I'm ending up in social media, quote unquote, Facebook jail with the content I'm sharing. But for those of you who are privy to what I'm sharing, positivity, love, real estate, youth work, stuff about millennials, community, wealth building, empowerment. How am I ending up locked up? I don't get this. So either I'm rubbing someone wrong and I'm being reported, and I just say, hey, if you don't like all of it, then just unfollow, hit the unfriend button, right? That's the beauty about controlling our social media. You have the ability, and I said this yesterday, so I'm going to say it today. You have the ability to control what gets filtered in your mind, especially as we talk about social media. Everyone said, hey, I don't like the new Facebook algorithms and Instagram algorithms. It's not their algorithm. Check your own algorithm. You like positivity? Go ahead and like that. Share that. You get more of that. This is profound to me because this is artificial intelligence, which is what social media is. It is trying to mimic your behavior. Social media is artificial intelligence trying to mimic the human experience. And so it is reading your algorithms of what you're responding to, essentially what the universe does with law of attraction, law of magnetism. It only gives you more of what you put out. I'm done, y'all. We'll just call this a short episode. We'll just call it a short episode. So, you see how this works? Are people really caring? You get more of what you put out. I'll continue. See, and he says, if we gain a few more bucks if for every dollar, right? Because how many times you're reading something, you think it's about you. It's not about you. For me, I have fun doing my vlogs and my videos because guess what? I'm using it as a memoir, a digital imprint for my children, for my legacy. My son and I sit back and watch the videos and he laughs at me. He says, Mom, why do you say that? Mom, why are you looking up at the ceiling? He is my best critic because he laughs at me. We laugh together. Y'all, don't take yourselves too serious on some of this stuff. Have some laughs in your life, man. The author says, albeit we are important to others, we are just not as important as we make ourselves out to be. And that's a good point because I say this all the time. I love me more. Let's be very clear. I love me more than anyone, anything, any experience. This. God self, God force, divinity. I am divinity. I love me more. In order for me to give that out, I can't give what I don't have. So I start here. I'm fired up. I just got a whole bunch of energy, you guys. I don't know. This is a good one. I did say this is going to be a great episode. So the basic idea of trying to impress people without carefully planned schemes doesn't carry much weight. Again, act out of intention. What are you doing it for? Especially, when you're acting out a fool for the attention, look back a couple years. Are you going to be good with that? Are you going to be good with what you said, with what you put out? I'm just asking. That's not for me. This show is about shift your thinking. Look, I'm pointing to myself if you're viewing me, and if you are listening to me on the radio podcast, fingers are pointed towards me. What am I going to think about myself with the content, the things that I said, the energy that I put out, the energy that I put out? The author says that most people are so inept at trying to impress us that all they do is shut down possibilities rather than opening doors. Oh my goodness. When you do too much, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. I sometimes see that on people's videos, you guys. You're doing too much. And then you turn off people. So, yeah, let's kind of check that. He says, for example, you ever meet people who feel the need to name drop? Oh, name drop from one word and aren't satisfied unless they know that you know how successful or connected they are. Name droppers have been called out. I didn't do it. It was the author of this book. Are you that person? It's not really attractive if you are. Because, you know, when you're around certain people, that's not really what they're impressed with. And it's certain things. Here's what's interesting. When you, this is what I find interesting. Again, people are not people. What is the episode? You think people care. For instance, I have seen people share things like of being at expensive restaurants and, world-renowned restaurants that may be top in steaks or some type of food. But guess what? You got a large majority of people that don't eat meat. They don't care. That's not impressive. So check that. You know, pay attention to what does that mean? Is that for you? Is that for self? Are you trying to impress others? Because again, you think people care. Not so much. Thanks, Jerry. Jerry's like, real talk queen. Shout out to the Instagram fam and Facebook fam. Auntie Martha, love you. She always comes on, gives me support. Love her family, the Maher family. Love y'all. So there it is. He says, I call these resume conversations. I done learned something new today. I've got some ammo. Last time on the show, I picked up verbal vomit. So this is great. Resume conversations. If you're viewing this on a replay and you get to type this in, hashtag resume conversations, drop that in. Resume convo. Resume convo. Call somebody out on that resume convo. I'm not impressed. Don't do that. No, that's not cool, you guys. Why? Because we want authentic. We want authentic, real connections, authenticity. I'm not really impressed. I'm not impressed with that. That's why I actually provided a list, you guys, on my social media of what I'm into. So I said, if this resonates with you, cool. If it doesn't, unfriend or unfollow me. We just keep it real cool, real simple. I'm easy like that. I'm very easy. I don't do complicated, and I do path of least resistance. Why? Go with the flow. That's what universal energy is. Universal energy is go with the flow. Downloads and uploads, just like this, up and down the kundalini. Let that energy flow. The chakras, if you're practicing that. Meditation, that's flow. That's energy, natural. When you feel complex and difficult, that's something else happening there. So we're getting ready to wrap this up. But I love that. Hashtag resume convo if you joined in. If you're just joining in, we are episode number 33 on Shift Your Thinking Tuesdays. This segment is a good one. So make sure you view it from the beginning. The author says, but then there are those who are content letting the conversation unfold naturally. They stay present with you. Here we go. And there are no rough edges or hidden motives. Did you see how I just said that? Go with the flow. My goodness, I'm in sync. That's awesome. They are pleased to get to know you. I just said authenticity. We want authenticity. Come on. Real people. We're here. See, we're here. They are pleased to get to know you. And the only agenda they have is to have a non-agenda based conversation that creates mutual value. So guess what? For those of you who connect with me, what is the thing that I say and share with you all the time? For new followers, I don't really like to say followers, but for new leaders that I connect with, right? For new leaders that I connect with, what do I share with you when I inbox, right? I say, let me know how we can be of added value to one another and support one another. Added value, mutual value. It's not just about me, because you don't really care. This shift your thinking is not really about, this is not about me. This is us building together. Mutual value. I'll see you at the top if that's where you want to go. If not, you're good. It's all right. I'm just ambitious like that, for those of you who know me. These are among the rarest, most impressive people in the world. I'm feeling kind of special right now. I have to be, right? In my mind, I perceive myself to be that way. I call myself super agent, and I got it federally registered as a trademark. I clearly feel a certain kind of way about myself. And that's why this is important, because you think people care. So self-care, what did I say in this segment? I love me. I have to love me, because you think people care. You can't put that responsibility on a whole other human being. You can't put that on another human being. Even if you have children, even if you have partners, your parents, your colleagues, I'm going to say this over and over. You cannot give what you don't have. In order for me, the best mother or partner or business entrepreneur or speaker or author or publisher, super agent, I've got to love me, y'all. And that's it has to start here. It's just, it may sound cliche, but that's the real. The author says, and let me finish that. He says, it has to have a non-agenda based conversation that creates mutual value, trust, and respect. We talked about this on the last episode, especially when we're in relations with men, interpreting respect as love. Brothers, kings, you design very differently. I get it. So the way I communicate love to you is I've got to respect you first. I have to respect you first in order for you to interpret that as me loving you. I'm dropping gems, queens. These are among the rarest, most impressive people in the world, the ones you'd like to get to know, do business with, invite to your party, and spend quality time with. Now that's an impression. So I leave this with you, and thank you for joining. If you're catching us on the end, be sure to view us from the beginning on the replay. This will be available on Instagram Live for the next 24 hours, on Facebook, Instagram, and radio podcast at LA Super Agent. So just make sure you view the Shift Your Thinking playlist. We are in episode number 3. So thank you for joining. So I'll leave this with you this week. Check your algorithms when you feeling like people really care about what you're posting, what you're sharing, what you're saying. Yeah, not so much. So check your algorithms. Yeah, this was a very powerful episode, you guys. I love you. I love you. I love you. Have a powerful and productive week. I will see you next week on episode number 34.